Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Leela here, and today I'm going to be talking about
the time I basically got fired and slash the worst boss ever. Now this video is going to be more of a serious video because I actually legitimately get very angry when I talk about this. Not only because I think that she breaks this bridge of trust between employee and employer, but because she just did so many shitty things to me. Like, it just, all of it sucks. So, in order to make sure that I stay on topic, I wrote a script. So if it looks like I'm reading, that's because I am. Because I needed to keep things in a timeline, otherwise this won't make any sense.
Capiche? Yeah.
Alright guys, enjoy, and I hope that no, actually, I take that back. I don't hope. I hope you cannot relate to this story whatsoever. And if you do,
I feel so sorry for you.
more like I quit, but I knew that eventually I was probably going to get fired, so I just left. So I moved back to my hometown to move back in with my parents. Now, when I lived on my own, I had a great job, and honestly, I wish I could have it back. But because it is 45 minutes away from here, a girl can dream. I moved on to a brand spanking new job called, here, let me give you a little hint. Okay, it rhymes with Snapples. From the jump, I should have known that something was off with this manager because it was way too easy to get a job. She asked like maybe 3 questions and then was like,
well, can you start tomorrow?
And I was like,
Hold up.
yeah, like, and the training was a little bit questionable too. I did some computer training, which isn't, it's not unheard of, but you know what was a little weird? I was being trained in sales, which was not the department that I got hired on for, or the department that I applied for. This went on for about a week, and then they finally moved me to the department I originally applied for, copy and print.
Tech and complicated printers and equipment that I didn't even know existed until then, and I definitely didn't know how to use any of it.
With that in mind, I was only trained there for 3 days. I'm disappointed. Already with the first couple of days, I was being told that how my manager was and that she was really tough to work with, and I should have seen that as red flag number 2.
Stop it. Get some help.
I've worked with tough people before, and I thought nothing of it because I thought our end goal was the same. I thought the manager and I had the same goal of customer satisfaction. However, this could not be further from the truth. Apparently, you're a manager but don't care about customers. My first shift by myself, which I was extremely nervous about, that first shift was an absolute shit show. And so my manager was so pissed that she had to jump in and help me. She would make snide comments like,
Nobody taught you this? That's hard to believe.
first of all, I was never supposed to be the only person in copy and print. Ever. There was at least supposed to be 2 of us. And this almost never happened. And our customers suffered because of it. I went home miserable almost every day. Because when it's only you, you're the one who takes the most shit.
That and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
I would have to ask her for help all the time. And I get how that could be annoying, but she's the one who set me out to fail in the first place. So in my mind, if she set it up that way, she should be prepared to deal with the fallout. Ergo, upset customers. But no. See, if a customer needed or wanted to talk to a manager, she would go run and hide. Or ask me how I could help them. I'm sorry, lady, but this customer doesn't want to talk to me anymore. This customer wants to talk to you, the manager. Sometimes she would walk around without a radio, so no one could talk to her. You know what I decided to do? Because she was unreliable, I decided to try and rely on my subpar training, and as you could imagine, that didn't go over very well. At all. For anyone. If you're wondering why these customers were so mean, to be honest, I didn't think they were mean at all. I thought they were being completely reasonable. Because a majority of these people that came in were business people working on their pet projects, and moms coming in wanting cards for their 3-year-old's birthday. These were things that had a deadline and needed to get done, and needed to get done right the first time.
And no, you know what? Let me talk to a manager. Keep interrupting. Give me the manager. Okay. All right. Give me the manager. All right.
And the amount of times I've heard while I worked there, I am never doing business here again, from business people who do a lot of projects. That's kind of threatening.
I'm sick of this. I'm gone. Slam the door. Boom.
The thing that shocked me the most was just the apathy from that place. Just from employees and management. The employees is understandable because you're getting shat on. Not only from the customers, but from a manager you can never satisfy, ever. And if anything goes wrong, never the manager's fault. It's your fault. It's never a team effort. It's you. You're the problem. Individually, you suck. Not only is there supposed to be another person working with me, but there is supposed to be a copy and print manager who is supposed to be specific to that department. However, when she would hire someone to be the departmental manager, she would make them stay out of the department that they were supposed to be working in. Also, if said department didn't make the numbers that she wanted, she would degrade them and demean them. As you can imagine, people didn't last very long in that position. It's easy to see that she was using them as pawns to shift blame when things went wrong, when in fact the departmental managers were doing her job and being made to neglect their job. If I had a question, I was told to ask them, but when they would get yelled at for not being at the door greeting guests, like, how am I supposed to get help over here if the help that is supposed to be offered to me has to stay at the door? They can't come over here to help me, but I can't ask you either. Where am I supposed to go? Who am I supposed to ask?
That was horrible.
The being at the door thing really made me mad because, hello, isn't that your job as the hire manager? Or maybe the sales manager should be at the front door. But oh wait, you have her doing a bunch of shit that is clearly supposed to be your job. Wow. Amazing how that works. If you have people doing your job instead of their job, you have to get other people to do their job. Therefore, other jobs get neglected. I wrote the script hoping that I wouldn't get mad and want to rage quit. But I want to reach it. The longest I've seen a departmental manager stay in was 2 months. And from what I gathered was that the training was inadequate. There was this one departmental manager, she was the last departmental manager that I worked under. I loved her. She was great. I would have thought she would have been amazing. So what I did was, one time when this head manager decided that she was going to go on a bitch fit about how this manager doesn't do anything ever in her life, I actually tried to stand up to her, for her, because I didn't want her to leave. She was good for this company and for our department, and it was a shame to see her go. And once she did leave, I felt like the one person who understood the most what it was like working there abandoned ship. Yeah, I definitely knew that I wasn't far behind. The last couple of months, corporate started digging into why the store was sinking. Our store is the worst store nationwide. Pretty sure we were the bottom 5. And if anyone had any suggestion that had anything to do with her doing and or pulling her own weight, she would flippantly say something like,
That's your job.
I wish I had a teacup so I could be like, and that's the tea. When should that die? Like, isn't spilling the tea like a euphemism that should die? Yeah, so the corporate started digging into why our store was failing. We were selling. Like, our numbers, as far as sales go, weren't bad. It was just people kind of stopped coming because they didn't believe that it was our manager that was literally so rude to customers and employees that employees would leave and never come back. And guess what? Customers did the same thing. They would leave and never come back. Many reasons to want to leave, and here's another. When I started, I filled out a sheet of days that I needed off in the upcoming months, and I did this first thing, right when I started my training. I filled out this sheet. My boyfriend's family throws a killer family reunion, and I want to be there every time. I distinctly remember writing them down because I asked my boyfriend what days they were.
And, can you see what's going to happen now?
That week's schedule comes up, right? Right? And guess who's on it? Me! I'm on it! Isn't that fantastic? I'm getting so mad. Okay, so at the time, I was mad, right? But, I just thought innocently, obviously, I was a little naive. I was like, that's alright. It's just a mistake. I'll go into our office and we'll fix this. So I asked her, I was like, hey, I definitely remember requesting these days off. And she was like,
No, you didn't.
and I was like, okay, well, can I see my sheet? The sheet that I filled out when I started, like 3 months ago. You know what the snake
I'm a slithery little snaky snake.
said? She said that once she writes it down on her calendar, she throws them away. I don't know. Seemed pretty dumb to me. Like, seriously, lady? You don't have it even put into a folder somewhere for assurance that just in case some argument comes up like this, you can literally pull it out and show me that I didn't or did request it off. I think the reason why you do this is so you can make the schedule the way that you want to do it, regardless of whether or not we request days or not. I was furious and thought about walking out right then and there, but I've never done that before. At the time, I've never gotten so angry that I should just leave, and even though I was thinking that, like, doing that actually, like, it was kind of scary. Like, after I have that thought, she then proceeds to tell me the importance of being there for my shift, or there will be consequences.
What will you learn? That your actions have consequences!
At this point, I'm sure she did it because her and I had an argument the previous week, and we were talking about how she treats her departmental managers and other employees, and how I fundamentally disagreed with that. I'm only studying civic leadership in school, and you'd think I'd know a little bit about something about being a leader, being a manager. Even though I sorely didn't want to work that day, I did, you know, back into the shit show. And the way she smirked at me when I came in, she thought that she had some cosmic control over my life, and it was fucking sickening. The day went on uneventful, maybe because she thought she won, but, you know, little did she know that she severed something that could never be bought back, and that is the fundamental trust between an employer and an employee. I could no longer trust that she would not stab me in the back for petty reasons. All right, and now on for the juicy part that I'm sure you all have been waiting for. The one that ended it all. The one that I finally had enough. 6 red flags down the road, and here I am. Let me warn you though, like, it's not like a fiery explosion or anything like that. Like, I didn't go off on this lady or anything like that. It's just not my style. I also wanted other jobs too. Like, I didn't want her to go on a petty vendetta. The day the schedule came out, I took a picture of it, right? Do you see where this is going? Here, let me add a little bit to it. I did work till Friday. She changed the schedule and didn't tell me. To be clear, there is absolutely no way for me to know that she changed the schedule because I didn't come in till Friday. She only kept a paper schedule. So the only way I would know if the schedule was changed is if she called me or texted me or anything of the like. She did neither. When I found out that I was supposed to be on the shift, I was an hour and 45 minutes away. Because, get this, guys, I have to tell you a secret, alright? I'm a normal person with a normal life, and I have things to do that require me to be more than an hour and 45 minutes away sometimes. And when I told her this, she flipped shit. She went off about how it's my responsibility to know the schedule and all this other shit about how I'm not a great employee and how I suck and how, you know, I really should be there and how I should just magically know. So I cut her off, interrupted her, and I said firmly that in fact I did know the schedule, the original schedule, the one that if amended should have been texted to me, or maybe she should have given me a call telling me I had a new shift. That if she really wanted me to be there, she would have done that. I told her basically I'm not coming in, and then again she started flipping shit, and I told her that if she wanted people to be aware of schedule changes, that she had to make people aware and take responsibility and text and call people. She then didn't argue anymore. She just huffed and hung up the phone. But it doesn't end there. So I was a little nervous coming in for my next shift because I had never done anything like that. I've never felt like I had to stand up for myself in that way. I've never been, moreover, I've never been yelled at like that by someone who is supposed to be more mature than me, who is supposed to have more responsibility than me. I've never had anyone yell at me the way that she did. And I was ready to either be completely done with it or absolutely resolve our issues right then and there, because obviously something was wrong, and obviously I wanted to work it out because, I mean, like, I hated the job, but I was already invested. Like, that's like 3 or 4 months of my fucking life. But of course that was like a resounding hell no from her. I started my shift off with, "Leela, can I see you in my office, please?" And I think I remember audibly groaning, to myself, because... and I was like, great, here we go. Surprisingly, though, instead of firing me like I thought she was going to, she decided that she was going to write me up, and she wanted me to write an apology to everyone in the fucking store, including her. And I just said no.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no.
I was like, you know what? No. I said, I quit. I quit. I can be sorry to everyone else in this fucking store except you. You're the one who did this in the first place. You do not get to fucking humiliate me in front of everyone and then expect me to write a reply to you saying that I'm so sorry for something that you fucking did. Fuck you, bitch. No. I said, I quit. I said, the way you treat everyone is unacceptable and quite frankly sickening, and I refuse to work with you any longer. Like, the restraint I have in these type of situations surprises me. Like, inside, I want to go off on this lady. I want to call her a bitch. I want to call her a cunt. I just want to go off on her. But, like, at the same time, I know she's petty as shit. And I know that she will fucking go out of her way if I list her as a fucking, you know, my past job and they call her. I know that if I don't make this amicable, at least, she'll be like,
no, she sucks. She's a horrible employee. Don't hire her.
So I had to be a little bit more tactful than, fuck you, bitch, I'm leaving. She then, surprisingly again, tried to fucking persuade me to not leave. She didn't want me to leave.
Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me.
But she didn't like me, obviously. She just wanted to make my life hell, but not enough for me to leave. At that point, I was so over it that I don't believe she could offer me anything to make me stay. Anything. I don't think if she offered me a raise, if she offered me a promotion, because honestly, even if she offered me a promotion, what is that promotion really? Departmental Manager? Why? So you can degrade me and beat me down again in a new way?
I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, how about I go back into the abuse that is you?
So I had to come back in a month later because they have UPS drop off a lot later than the UPS store. So I had to go in to drop off a rental that I had. I wasn't sure if I was going to see her again. And honestly, if I did, I was going to actually tell her how I felt. Because I mean, at that point, I had another job. And I didn't see any point in keeping, you know, good relations with her anymore. But she was gone. Apparently, corporate let her go. They were telling me that, you know, with a whole bunch of people leaving, including you, they started looking into her. So they did offer me my job back. But, you know, that place brings back so many bad experiences. I can't think of anything worse for my mental health than going back to that place. You know, I've had to deal with difficult people since then, but I've always been able to find common ground with them and negotiate a workplace situation that works for both of us. So if you were a previous manager or are now a manager of me, just know that I do not believe you are the worst ever. Just let that sink in. There is someone out there who is definitely worse at everything in every single way than you. And honestly, a lot of my managers do a great job. You are by far not the worst, and I would 110% prefer you over that Snapple's employee. Alright, that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys have a great day.
And I hope that you have never experienced a shitty boss ever.
If you are that Snapple's manager and you just so happen to find this video, I hope you know that you were really bad. Really bad. And I hope you learn from your mistakes. Because honestly, I think that the reason you were so bad to start with is a personality flaw within yourself and not so much your training. because you weren't a nice person at all. Sorry. Peace. Bye. Have a good night.